Hello everyone, welcome back to GGN. This is part 4, the final part for today from 21st, 2013. Alright, I'm ready to go here. New Jersey bans high school trash talk and hateful comments could get athletes in trouble with state officials. So it goes on here and it says that the Attorney General's Office and Athletic Association announced a policy change banning all manner of mouthing off in high school sports. Officials say it just brings sporting events in line with the state's school anti-bullying law. Unprovocative language or action towards officials, opponents, or spectators could get the team penalized. It says here, harassing statements about gender, race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, disability, or religion could land an athlete in trouble with the state's Civil Rights Division. Christian school cites Bible and impure thoughts to boot girl from football team. So a Christian school in Georgia is using the Bible to back up their decision that a 12-year-old girl should no longer be able to play football because the boys on the team could have impure thoughts. So just for the fact that because I'm a girl, the 12-year-old, which I think is completely outrageous. So the mother created a Let Her Play Facebook campaign hoping that the school would rethink its decision. So I guess, if a monkey wanted to be like a CEO of a company, I guess that they, monkey supporters got a Facebook page and said, discriminating against monkeys, then they should be able to become CEOs and workers if they want to. I guess anything goes, right? I mean, I wouldn't even make the statement about having impure thoughts. Just say, no, this is whatever's for boys and this is for girls, and they're not going to do this. Just say it. Just say, no, this is in confliction with our traditional values. Go F yourself. Let's just stand up, man. Quit apologizing. Obama blames Northern Ireland, but they got to be politically correct. I mean, that's just a given, right? Obama blames Northern Ireland tensions on Catholic schools. So Obama's under fire this week after a speech he gave in Northern Ireland, which he labeled Catholic education divisive and likened them to segregated schools in the Deep South. They've not only angered Catholics in Northern Ireland, but have put him at odds with the Vatican's highest authorities. So it says here, the Scottish Catholic Observer called alarming and unfounded his comments. Obama implied that tensions between Protestants and Catholics in Ireland would be eliminated if there was no separation between Catholic and Protestant schools. He said issues like segregated schools and housing, lack of jobs and opportunities, symbols of history that are a source of pride for some and pain for others. These are not tangential to peace, they are essential to it. Speaking to about 2,000 youth at a town hall meeting, if towns remain divided, if Catholics have their schools and buildings and Protestants have theirs, if we can't see ourselves in one another, if fear or resentment are allowed to harden, that encourages division, it discourages cooperation. And I think this is a good time to make this point. The only reason they say, about equality and diversity and, cooperation, they don't like division, is because these people are killing off all the different tribes. They're killing everything that we have known. I mean, in the future, they're going to kill off humanity, like I said. So this is a serious threat. You can say, well, I love multiculturalism, diversity is great, and we're all humans, and that's cool, man. I mean, if that's what you believe, that's cool. But I believe in something different, and it doesn't. I don't know if I'm right, like I said before. So. But my gut intuition is that we're having our consent engineered for us. And the only reason they care about cooperation is that if you have a whole planet, whatever, millions or billions of people, or just 500 million like they want according to the Georgia Guidestones, if you want to control those people, the masses, you want them all thinking the same. You want them all homogeneous. 108 Morris was talking about this. He made a great point about this, about, Brazil, focusing on Brazil and the protests there in Turkey, and that it's like, why should we give two craps about what's going on there instead of our backyard, And that's the thing. It's about creating this hive mind, this global hive mind, everybody thinking globally. And, I guess in a way, global government news, I created it as a pun on words, basically because people say there's no global government. But maybe that's what I should do. Maybe I should just focus on local issues and not focus on global issues. But, I don't think I present it the way the mainstream media does. When they focus on Brazil, they're going to have all these different, Zionist-run media outlets basically covering it, slanting it, and co-opting that movement. Whereas I'm trying to, break through all that So that's how I feel. Sorry for rambling on there, but as far as discouraging cooperation, well, why these people sow seeds of sectarianism and division? So why the hell would they care about cooperation? Like I said, it's for controlling the entire planet. So they had to kill off tribes. They had to kill off, all these different nations. That's why you see the only nations right now that are still semi-tribal or sovereign are the ones that are under attack. Be they a foreign colonial power, such as France, UK, EU, NATO, US, or their mercenary proxy forces, i.e. terrorists. Hillary says U.S. should have a female president, speaking hypothetically. So it goes on here and says that she hopes to see a U.S. female president in her lifetime because it would send exactly the right historical signal to women and girls as well as men and boys. So she says it depends on women stepping up and subjecting themselves to the political process. So this is, of course, on the notion that all women are in traditional families are victims. They're being victimized. So it's interesting because they wanted to get out and put on the pants and start paying taxes and become CEOs and all these department heads. And what will they be doing? Well, they'll be working for the corporations. They'll be working for the government, and they'll be selling out. They'll actually become victims themselves. So remember, we just covered this, right? The Bank of America mural, prophetic art, says, see the controlled female puppet on strings. This suggests that the next puppet president may be a woman. So there you go. Support Hillary Clinton for president. So this is actually for real, I guess. ReadyForHillary.com. To help keep our country moving forward. What the hell does that mean? Like change. Moving forward towards where? A brave new world? Transhumanism? The death of humanity? The death of culture? MSNBC host asked her daughter if she would marry a girl when she grows up. This is from April 5th, 2013. So it says here, on Friday, co-host of MSNBC's The Cycle, Crystal Ball, introduced an online-only feature called Political Playground, in which she focused on marriage equality. In the feature, Ball asked her young daughter to reveal what she understands about marriage and asked if she would marry a girl when she gets older. And that's good because you want people to marry who they're in love with, says Ball. Her daughter replied by saying yes. When she heard about other states continuing to not recognize same-sex marriage, she replied by saying that's crazy. So I only have a few articles today on the LGBT crap. I won't cover it in whole 15-minute videos anymore. Lesbian couple attacked after having sex in McDonald's bathroom. So 2 men were allegedly attacked and beaten by a group of people outside a McDonald's restaurant in Pennsylvania after being kicked out for allegedly having sex inside the women's bathroom. Get this, the police superintendent, Mr. Chitwood, said everybody should do their own thing, but doing it at 5 o'clock in the afternoon in the McDonald's bathroom, whether you're female and male, or male and female, what the fuck? So, the Toronto District Board opens its first co-ed washroom. So an alternative school dedicated to equity or equality issues has opened the Toronto District School Board's first co-ed washroom, identifying as those students identify as transgender. The washroom was set up after a petition by grade 8 students. Marriage rates lowest in more than a century. So the U.S. marriage rate for 18 to 34-year-olds is at the lowest rate in the country in over a century, according to a report by Demographic Intelligence of Charlottesville. The country will experience a temporary 4% increase in weddings this year, up from the historically low rate of 6.8, which was held in 2009. It says the growth is expected to be among women aged 25 to 34 and college-educated affluent people. More people are living together and people are delaying marriage because of the economy. Men don't take very attractive marriage partners if they don't have a job. It's all about monetary value. You're a monetary asset. So this is using the economy as a way of designing society. According to the report, marriage fell most among less educated young women in the wake of the recession or wealth consolidation operation. Also worth mentioning is that it said that for the first time that white deaths outnumbered births, but commenters said that those polls were not accurate. So everything you thought you knew about age and fertility was wrong from June 21st, 2013. So it basically says that, how you were told that by the time you get 30, by the time you're 30, you're no longer able to have kids. Eggs were rapidly shriveling up and dying. So they say it turns out to be based on no specific published medical literature. She says here it's wonderful news that the statistics. That said, it's wonderful news that statistics about fertility decline have potentially been exaggerated. So that's exaggerated too. Then perhaps we can push back against attitudes that women are waiting too long because they're deluded or selfish or career obsessed. So I saw this article too, just from today. Baby surprise for 6-year-old women. So we've written about surprise babies before, when women have only learned they're expecting a baby in the 3rd trimester or didn't even realize that they were pregnant before going into labor. In India, women start to go through menopause around the average age of 44. In Australia, it's around 51. Interesting too, though. You think about places like India, they have more kids, right, at a younger age. So maybe they're not able to have kids later because they have more kids and at a younger age. Whereas most of these Australian, European, American women tend to put it off and have less kids and try to have them at a later age. Chinese city forces all women of childbearing age to be fitted with IUDs or sterilized. The Chinese government has given notice to citizens that all women of childbearing age must be fitted with these devices, IUDs, or permanently sterilized via tubal ligations. It says they're using monetary rewards and threats that women will lose access to government-run social services in order to coerce women into submitting themselves for temporary and permanent sterilizations. Women deliver. It says here, Gates' global push for abortion continues. So it's being billed as the largest global event of the decade to focus on health and empowerment of girls and women. It's basically designed to reduce populations of developing nations by promoting a Western-style sexual revolution via chemical contraceptives, access to abortion on demand, including the promotion of chemical, I don't know what the heck that is, in countries where abortion is illegal, and sex education for youth. So it says featured speakers were Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, president of the Planned Parenthood Federation of America, who I believe actually said that children are actually societies. They're not actually part of the family. Don't forget Hillary Rodham Clinton via video stream. A body of newborn baby discovered in trash can in California. So discovered in a trash can in Oildale, California. And that was today. It comes just weeks after the footage of Chinese workers leaving to remove a baby from a sewage pipe after a single mother says flushed her down the toilet, something police said was an accident. Body of small baby found in sewage tank. So this is in Canada, in Montreal. They're looking for the mother of a small baby whose body was discovered in a solid waste tank in a waste treatment plant just north of the city. They said the baby was likely flushed down the toilet. A mom who threw baby down garbage chute sentenced to 2.5 years in prison. This is the UK mom who stuffed her newborn daughter in a garbage bag and threw her down a 44-foot-long garbage chute has been sentenced to 2.5 years in prison. Why I had my abortion at 23 weeks? Mother says medical problems weren't clear until then. But says here she offers her own story to make the case why it should never be, why her and her husband chose to abort one of the twin fetuses, because it wasn't until then the full scope of the medical problems had become clear. So it says here the thought of hearing him grasp for air and linger in pain was our nightmare. So it says we made sure our son was not born only to suffer. He died in a warm and loving place. Deaf U.S. kid hears for the first time thanks to brainstem implant. This is nice and everything, but of course it leads to what? Transhumanism. The ban on growing human organs in animals is to be lifted. I believe it was in what? Japan? So it says here that human internal organs in the bodies of other animals for potential use in transplants, raising concerns about the compromising the dignity of human beings. Health officials are very disappointed that most doctors and nurses declined flu vaccinations last winter, that they'll give them to their patients. Study says 70% of Americans are on prescription drugs. 70%.